Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 11 of our commentary for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and today we're going to be tackling the game's second main dungeon, the Forbidden Woods. Can you tell I just started a new session?
I was gonna say that was quite the intro to the dungeon, with the Dutch angle camera and kind of the weird undulating motion of it.
Yeah.
With the wind and the wind blowing in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something. It's another thing I kind of took for granted at the time, but like in terms of cinematic presentation, I guess Wind Waker's not really the best example because this was like post MGS2 and that stuff. But like the N64 games, I always thought, or I have come to realize rather, were really ahead of their time in terms of like their use of cinematic techniques to like enhance storytelling. I always thought the camera work. There I go again. I now realize that the camera work in Ocarina of Time and Majora is like really well done compared to other games of the era.
Yeah.
Like, everything's just like framed really nicely.
Which is funny because I've heard the cinematics and camera work crapped on a lot by people with the
Really?
N64 games.
You
Yeah.
kidding me?
Well, not by a lot of people, but a lot by a few people. Like a certain popular Let's Player who has a beef with Ocarina of Time, for example.
Oh, okay.
So, whenever you threw that nut at the door, that reminded me that it took me forever to figure out how to get through that door as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what do I do?
I think there's also one later on, a door later on, where it's one of those examples where there was kind of a puzzle to get the thing that you need to open the door, and it just didn't. There was so much puzzle that I just completely forgot. Oh yeah, you break this open with a nut. Just like the simple end of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that one room in Portal 2, where there's a big long puzzle, and the final step is use the portal to cross the gap by shooting it at the wall across the gap.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this game is a great example of this, but I know what you're talking about, where you get so wrapped up in like overthinking things that, you know.
Oh no, where'd she
Goodbye,
go?
fairy.
Yeah, well. Oh, no. You get a second chance.
Oh no!
Chance
Wrecked.
squandered.
We're 0 for 2.
Any friend of a fairy
Yikes.
is a friend of mine.
Fairies are friends, not food.
It's for all you Fern Gully fans out there. All
Joe.
3 of you.
Joe, you don't need to kill them.
It's for all you Finding Nemo fans out there. I was gonna say Fishtail, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, wait, that's the one with Will Smith.
That, like, cult film. Nobody's heard of Finding Nemo.
You guys want to scrub the teeth of a whale? That's the movie for you.
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
At the whale wash.
I like how
Why did I see that movie in theaters?
I like how the vegetarian shark is just an allegory for gay acceptance. It's
I
nice.
don't remember that part of the movie.
They tried, you know?
Yeah. Wasn't that Jack Black also?
Mm-hmm.
We need a movie about doing away with the stigma associated with vegetarians.
With vegetarian sharks.
Some say they taste like pork. Oh, wait, what?
Oh.
Oh, that's politicians, not vegetarians. My bad.
They taste like
So in
pork.
case you haven't noticed, these Boko Babas refill your magic when you land in them, which is kind of a nice feature to have in this, you know, early game dungeon.
Oh.
When you're still kind of figuring out how to manage your magic and all.
Yeah.
Watch me glory kill this Choo Choo.
I feel like it
Oh,
goes
no.
along with...
Oh, no. Wrecked.
Nice, man. I feel like it kind of goes along... Oh. He no longer has the high ground.
What is it with Ricks?
But yeah, I feel like it goes along with the... Wow. Swat it down. God damn it.
Some cosmic
Stop.
force does not want me to complete this dungeon.
I'm trying to talk about a serious topic and you're flashing Jar Jar in my face. Anyway, I was saying, I feel like I get the feeling from this game that magic is strongly associated with nature. So it makes sense that you get magic from being inside a flower.
Yeah, that works.
You gotta blow.
Why?
What are you doing?
Why would you blow it sideways?
Where are you going, Link?
I'm pretty sure that's an old sailor term. Well, blow me sideways.
Oh god.
I like that the symbol on the door is the Deku Shield symbol from Ocarina. It's nice.
Oh yeah. And they did that in the Forest Temple of Twilight Princess as well.
Yeah.
And they also put it on the shield in Ocarina.
Yeah. God, what are they, lazy?
The more you know.
Listing things, a great substitute for meaningful commentary.
Yeah.
What are all those rupees
I've played Zelda games before.
What are all those rupees doing up there? Ain't nobody going in here except deep little cokeries.
They gotta go somewhere.
Dick Cokery.
Oh yeah, I believe in the dialogue earlier they alluded to this, but the Koroks used to live here.
Oh.
And you can actually see the remains of their houses in some parts of the dungeon.
Oh.
So that was neat. I forgive me if I'm underselling the previous Zelda games, but I feel like this might have been one of the first instances of Zelda dungeons like featuring more concrete theming like that.
Shadow Temple, though.
Where they're not like okay. Like I say, it wasn't coming to mind, but
Oh. Can't believe you made that.
Yeah, I think Zelda
regardless,
temples are usually like holy sites and temple. Oh, all right, goodbye.
Once again, 3 is my lucky number. Now let's do this very slowly and carefully.
Oh,
you can do it, Link.
Time to
if
falling
you try.
Off again. No. Oh my god.
Oh.
Barely.
You scared to go through the door?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I know that on the other side of that door, there's nothing waiting for me except more humiliation.
Did anyone else see that light? The lighting of this room do that weird thing when you entered?
I must have blinked.
Like it changed the angle or something right when you entered.
Oh. On that note, I guess this was another kind of uncommon thing before this game, but the dungeons, or the early dungeons in this game, seem to feature a lot of like juxtaposed like indoor and outdoor environments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little less pronounced in this one than it was in Dragon Roost Cavern, but it is nice when you enter those rooms where there's like an open ceiling and you can just kind of see the sky and the natural lighting from outside. And it actually does reflect the time of day that you're playing the game, so that was a nice attention to detail.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how it was used in like Dragon Roost and especially the Tower of the Gods. When you get to the outside part, it reflects like, man, I have climbed up so high without even realizing it.
Yeah, it feels really climactic and cool. I love that dungeon.
Yeah, I love those. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, especially in Tower of the Gods, because it's like right before the boss room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you don't
honestly,
really ever see the outside before that.
I have a lot of fondness for Tower of the Gods for whatever reason. Like, I don't think the puzzles in it are anything like super special, but I guess it. You know what? We'll talk about Tower of the Gods when we get there.
I was gonna say I like those bendy platforms.
Oh yeah.
The weird little root things.
Yeah.
And I like these. What are they called again?
Mole something,
feet.
Probably.
My mind says Smorg, but I know it's not that because that's the Paper Mario enemies.
I appreciate the reference, though.
Oh yeah. So
my mind first went to Georg, but that's another one.
Speaking of Majora's Mask, these are giving me Goron Treasure Room flashbacks. These vines are.
Oh yeah. Oof. Not my favorite heart piece to get.
I love that it's random and you can actually get super lucky and just like one shot it.
Yeah, or, the opposite could happen, which seems to be the more common result.
Yeah, I got lucky on my last couple playthroughs.
Are you talking about the treasure chest maze minigame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny that you call that the Goron treasure room.
Well, the Goron's the only one that gives you a decent reward, isn't it?
Oh, I forgot that they give you just a decent reward. I forgot they give you different rewards. I only remembered that the Goron was the most expensive one because the lady at the counter is just like, all right, the adult price is this. Whereas if you go with as a Zora, like you still look like an adult, but she thinks you're hot, so she gives you a discount.
That's great.
Unfortunately, giving you a discount also means I can't give you the best reward, but that's how you run a business.
Doesn't that chick's sister work at the mayor's mansion?
Probably.
Because they have like the same model, just different hair.
It might be the same model, but I think their faces are different. Actually, I think the mayor's secretary in Majora was one of the original character models for that game that wasn't like carried over from Ocarina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with the wife.
Mm-hmm. And the mayor himself.
Yeah, doesn't the mayor's secretary have like green hair and she's more happy and animated?
Yeah, she's not falling asleep.
Everyone in Clocktown is too depressed to play the game, so she's happy when people come by.
Please don't leave.
Oh no, not the Smorgs.
Yeah, they're back. They've got reinforcements this time.
Chewbacca would cook and eat those.
Chewbacca.
Oh, I get it. Is this Baronade's room? What are you doing in here?
Oh, I hope not. I hate Baronade. Okay, I don't hate Baronade, but, he's not exactly my first choice to have a beer with.
You wouldn't have a Baronade with him?
No. Sorry to disappoint.
So, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember now. If there was a Zelda-themed beverage that you could make,
that's that Chateau Romani.
Chateau Romani.
What do you think that tastes like? Just like chocolate? Do you think it tastes like vanilla soy milk or something?
Maybe like whole milk. Maybe it's kind of like Bailey's.
What if it's eggnog?
Oh, that'd be lit.
Yeah.
Eggnog or Bailey's?
Yes.
All of the above. So we're getting pretty close to the mini-boss here. Sorry there hasn't been much to talk about. You just, like I said in Dragon Roost, you just kind of go through these dungeons. Like, they're aesthetically nice, and, the puzzles are, they're smooth sailing, I would say. Like, they don't feel... Again, this is probably the result of my nostalgia again, but I don't find them, like, frustratingly easy. It's just kind of... It's just kind of a relaxing, kind of easy game.
Yeah. So those bugs that you fought a second ago, those kind of look like Vibrava from Gen 3 of Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. I always thought those were a really kind of intimidating enemy just because of how fast they move.
Yeah.
And if you don't like those guys, then maybe cover your eyes for the mini-boss.
Oh, no. You're going to need 2 nuts for this door.
But I don't see any nuts. Well, apart from those ones hanging from the ceiling, but
yeah,
can't very well use those.
And I like how much of a pushover they become once you get the boomerang. Just
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna snip your wings off real quick and
oh yeah,
stun you till you're dead.
Well, in the GameCube version, the boomerang would fire like after you let go of the button to ready it. But in this one, you actually have to manually tap it. And I find that, like, because tapping the boomerang button while the boomerang is active makes it come back to you. Like, what I would do is I would just, like, hammer the boomerang button to, like, kill those guys easily. But I can't do that in the HD version because they changed the controls to accommodate the fact that you now have to aim with the right analog stick. And thus, if you put it on one of the face buttons, you can't do both at once.
I love when you Deku Leaf the little spiky guys and they just kind of float through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I didn't notice before, but did Link make a face when he was about to drink that red potion?
Yeah. I
Like
imagine
he was
it's
taking medicine or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I imagine it tastes like that cherry flavored medicine they make you take when you're a kid.
That reminds me, our buddy Ethan and I played through Twilight this year on hard mode, so no hearts drop, just like this. And I used to call the red and blue potions cherry and blue, wild berry Powerade.
I mean, for all we know, they haven't figured out how to transmit taste through video games yet. But
Yeah.
One day.
His
Day we will have smell-o-vision.
How do you think a Poe's soul tastes?
Ooh.
Probably not very good.
Pretty light, pretty empty.
It tastes like the Ice Bucket Challenge feels.
Okay, I don't know about you guys. And we'll probably talk about this in the next part. By which I mean we probably won't, but the boomerang in this game is such an upgrade from the one in Ocarina.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know it's not like you got the boomerang in that game like just before it was about to become. You know what? We'll talk about that next time. We will. I promise.
Yeah.
See you then.